Hello, this is Jonan, the Blood DK, here with this fabulous, dazzling fight of the Interior Guard versus Double Dragons, also known as Valion and Theralion. It's a great fight. This is a mechanic fight, and this Interior Guard team better be highly aware of all these mechanics if they even want a chance at downing this encounter. Now, it looks like they're off to a pretty good start. This team knows to be spread out. The whole point of that is to avoid that Twilight Blast that's coming from the blue drake that's overhead. Oh, and what do we have here? It's a Devouring Flame. Pretty good movement, a little slow. And being a little slow can end up hurting you quite a bit on this fight. The whole thing revolves around taking as little damage as possible. It's a long fight. You're in it for the long haul, so you must limit your damage, whether you're a DPSer, a tank, or a healer. Because towards the end of the fight, if the healers are running out of mana, then all is for naught. So you really have to, every step of the way, try to squeeze out every bit of survivability you can, regardless of the role you're playing. And it looks like they're doing a pretty good job. You saw the blackout effect there, which is a dispellable debuff that does a lot of damage, and it's split between everyone around it. So you kind of have to cluster down. The Interior Guard, they've decided to cluster down at the tail, dispel it there, and that puts all the damage to all the people down there, which is 9 players. So it lessens that 250,000 damage. But they gotta move quick because they're still getting the Twilight Blast. Oh, what do we have now? We got Dazzling Destruction. Now, if that occurs, if you're in there when the fireballs hit, you get put into the Twilight Zone. You gotta get out of there fast. You'll probably hear one of those great emotes, "Enter Twilight," at some point. What we have here, now this is some good coordination. Let me point this out. Now, we had the second Drake come down, and what do you have here? You had Adler immediately position. These had to be pre-thought out, because it was very, very smooth transition. They share a health pool, these two dragons, but they do not share a threat table, so he was able to establish threat, get right back on there, and you see what this is some beautiful movement right here, mainly by the range and the healers down there. You see excellent use of healing rain. They got to tote, of course, when the new guild leader, the Interior Guard, Eldrick, apparently took a step back and is now the co-guild leader. But you can see they're lining up beautifully, might add, all those debuffs. And you can also see that they're stacking on each other. They got the melee all up with the tank, and they got the range and the healers all back there together, and they're doing a pretty good job. If you look at the health, you know, they're taking damage. This is going to happen in this fight, but they're not taking extreme amounts of damage. So they're doing a wonderful job at maintaining that. And they're keeping those fabulous flames and the engulfing magic debuff at bay. So very impressive maneuvering of this boss to maximize the room. Now, here comes the real test, though, on the second boss, is when you actually have the purple dragon doing a deep breath, and they even call it that, very Onyxia-like, but only engulfs 1/3 of the room. Let's see what strategy they have for that. The Interior Guard team seems to be very aware of what they're doing. They do have a strategy, or that may have been luck. It seems like we have the range already away, and then the melee was already in the middle with the boss. Let's see if they do good movement. It seems like they're using the middle in and out strategy, where basically everyone moves to the middle if you say in, and if it's on the wings, you say out. So, pretty simple way. Yeah, it definitely looks like the in and out strategy. Simple strategy, effective. Only half the room really is engaged with anything at the moment, so it's working out pretty well for this Interior Guard team. Looks like we're going to have another transition. Okay. Here comes the purple dragon, and Elder picks it up. Good control by the DPS. You see, they let that dragon come to the tank, because as you could see, we had laid out here a lot of that engulfing, what is that, the fabulous flames on the ground, I believe. So, you know, they had to let the boss come to the tank, let them start to spread, and maneuver so they can, of course, do the stacking and unstacking they need to. Now, again, this is just recycling, again, the same mechanics. It's all about the mechanics in this fight. Now, the healers look like they're doing an excellent job at using their healing cooldowns to really stretch out that mana. I've seen some mana stream totems, I believe, from the shaman, so they are working hard at stretching out that healing mile. Boss is about 23% health. So looking pretty good. It's all about maintaining. You can't get sloppy at the end of the fight. This is the kind of fight that if you get sloppy, that's when you die. You kind of get complacent. Okay, we've gone through it. The boss is starting to die, but 20% health is still a lot of health. Okay, we got another Devouring Flame. Looks like we didn't have anyone caught up in that. Well, no. Looks like we have a Hunter going down. No. Survived. Very, very good. So, Adler tanking away. Seems like his survival is pretty good. Oh, and you can see here, as we trans back into the transition between the two dragons, Eldrick is hitting heavily on Devastate. Adler and Eldrick, obviously the same person, and he's getting that impending victory. Now, a lot of tanks, warrior tanks, decide not to go with that, but he believes it helps him quite a bit. You know, in a fight like this where you have to stretch out that mana, a little bit of extra healing that you can give yourself is a worthwhile thing. So, threat is very solid, doesn't have to worry about that, so he's going to be trying to get as many of those procs as he can, help out the healers. Now, as you can see, they're doing a fabulous job of going right back to what they were doing. Maintain. Now, we got 2 raid members down. This is the kind of fight where everyone you lose in a 10-man raid really hurts you. So they're going to have to push it. Now, they're edging about 10% health here. Looks like they can do it. They're going to really have to push. While we have the second, we're going to, of course, say that this excellent video is brought to you by the Guardian Tank Podcast, available on iTunes. Go check it out if you're interested about tanking. Alright, we're getting right down here to the wire. Most of the healers have a bit of mana left. They look like they're at least at a manageable amount for the duration they have to go here. We've had some scary moments on with the tank. A couple times he went really, really low, but through cooldown usage and some quick, decisive healing, they were able to maintain. The DPS is doing a superb job at staying out of the fire, moving where they're supposed to, and still laying out some really nice deep. So, good job on this Interior Guard DPS, and knowing this encounter, I believe they're going to have it, as long as they can maintain for a few more seconds. Do we have a victory? The tank looks like he's getting hurt. Oh, is the tank going to go down? Oh, brought him back up. Very nice healing. Do we got the boss, though? Can the boss go down with 8 raid members ready? Yes! And a woot. Very good job for this Interior Guard team, bringing out a heavy mechanics fight. Excellent and well done.